Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. So in section 1.2 we're going to be talking about functions and composition of functions. So now I just want to take a few minutes to talk about why we would care about such a thing. And what is a function? Well, a function is a machine or a monster that eats input and spits out output according to a rule. So the important three things here are input, there's an output, and to get from the input to the output you have some type of rule. So here's a cartoon for that. Here's another cartoon for that same concept. You have something that you're putting in, you're following a rule, and you're spitting something out. Think of going to the vending machine and putting in $1 and typing A1 and you're expecting a Coke. So the machine needs to know that if you feed it $1 and you hit A1, you get a Coke. Okay? That's the important thing, is that it actually follows the rule. Why would we want to study functions? Well, we've already seen on day one of this class 6 real-world examples of some data, and we saw that we can model that real-world data with functions, which are these 6 functions here, and you had to match those up. And of course, from those functions, then you get plots, and from those plots you can see trends. So this was FGCU's student population over the last 20 years. You can see that we had a steep growth, and then we kind of leveled off because our carrying capacity we've reached our maximum carrying capacity. We need to build more buildings before we can really add more students. Here's a periodic function. This was the title chart one. Here's your taxes owed in 2018 based on your income. Here's red snapper production. As the fish ages, you can see that it grows exponentially, so it's important that we have more older fish in the population. Here's the median home prices in Florida over the last 70 years, and here is wind energy in the US. You can see it's kind of a cubic polynomial. So we had a little increase, then a dip for a little bit, and then an increase again. Okay, so real world data, it gives you trends. It's cleaner than dealing with just tables of data. Another reason why you care about functions, and you should definitely care about this, is that we're in the 21st century now, and this is the computer age, the technology age. Functions are the basic building blocks of all computer programs. They're like the sentences in any paragraph of computer code. So again, this format of input-output rule is very important. Here's an example of some Python code that my research students have written. You can see here that the things that they document are input, the output, they give an example to check the rule. Here's the rule. So there's the input W, there's the output P, and it's following this rule. The idea here is that you can write a short function that's really simple to check and debug, and then once you know that works, then you can build more exotic programs by combining these functions using composition. What's composition? Composition is when you feed an input to a function, like let's say G, it spits out the output, that box there, that's G of your ball, and then you take that output and you feed it to F. Okay, so that's F of G of the input. So we read from inside out when we're writing these compositions of functions. And when you do that, you can get some really kind of complex stuff even from simple building blocks. So one simple building block might be F of X is just a 1.08 times X. G of X could be just take X and add 5,000. Both of those are simple functions. One's scaling, one's adding. When you combine them, you might get this function H of X, which is still pretty simple. It's multiply by 1.08 and then add 5,000. But then when you take H and you start feeding it to itself, the output to itself over and over and over again, you get this really kind of exotic function that is going to model how much money you have in a savings account earning 8% interest and saving $5,000 a year over a period of time. So we'll use this example a lot in future classes when we discuss how to become a millionaire. Okay, so hopefully you now are convinced that functions are important. We'll begin the rest of our lectures.